everyone, I am Van. Welcome to Geography 100. During my presentation, I would be discussing the association among economies of three regions: Vietnam, China, and South China Sea. In order to put everything in perspective, before I begin shedding light on how the economies of these regions are interrelated, I would like to shed some light on the geographical location of these regions. As evident from the map, all these regions lie in the continent of Asia. China lies towards northwest of Vietnam, while the South China Sea lies towards southeast of Vietnam. Now, the important question: which factors influence the interaction between two economies? Location and distance being prominent, accessibility, utility, and interdependence are some of the factors that influence the interaction between two economies. Vietnam, being a peripheral country, plays a significant role in the development of Chinese economy, a semi-peripheral economy. I do not experience history, but I can feel how hard and poor Vietnamese's economy were when they had to pay not only tax but also tributes for Chinese Empire during 10 centuries through many lessons about the colonization of China on Vietnam during 9 years at school. Though China's colonization of Vietnam ended formally long ago, it still exploits Vietnam indirectly, an instance of neo-colonization. The primary factor behind China's interest in Vietnam is the availability of cheap raw materials. In order to understand China's role in Vietnam's economy more clearly, I would like to take a simple example. Every year, Chinese merchants purchase large amounts of a particular fruit from Vietnamese peasants. Initially, it might seem as if a significant amount of capital is flowing into Vietnam's economy. However, a deeper look reveals that in reality Vietnam's economy is getting damaged because of such a trade practice. Now the important question is, how is this happening? Yet another strategy adopted by China, which is detrimental to Vietnam's economy, is abruptly halting the trade whenever it desires. This leads to accumulation of enormous backlogs, hence forcing Vietnamese peasants to sell their produce at reduced or no profits. The strategies adopted by China are detrimental for Vietnam's people in diverse ways. Dwindling economy devoids the peasants of capital for the next sowing season and increases the prices of resources like fertilizers, pesticides, etc. Growing the same fruit repetitively deteriorates the quality of soil, leading to reduced yield and hence reduced profits. The news about how Vietnamese peasants had to suffer were delivered on TV. But it hurted more when my uncle was one of those victims from those kinds of trade. A Chinese company asked to cooperate with and buy from him a large amount of jackfruit. The price they pay for per kilogram was even lower than the price my uncle used to sell at local market. But he could gain more profits at the end because the load of jackfruit sold to them was way larger than the load he could sold in the local market in every season. In order to have enough capital for the next sowing season, he mortgaged his house to open the scale of his garden. After consecutively broadening the scale in 3 seasons due to the increase in the demand of the Chinese company, he had a big debt with a bank because their promise was to help him to earn more money. However, Chinese company abruptly halted the trade, which caused my uncle to be in trouble with his debt and a huge backlog of jackfruit. The too large backlog and the competition between peasants felt in the same situation caused him to sell all with no profit or even losses. He was more lucky than others when everyone in my family helped him to get over crisis while some lost their houses. Several small banks in many countrysides were bankrupted because peasants were not able to pay debts. I remember that I did buy fruits from those peasants as my school's activity to help them. As a result, monetary resources that the Vietnamese government could have spent on improving education, healthcare, and other basic amenities are now spent to assist these peasants. Furthermore, politicians and economic professionals face difficulties in encountering the problems due to the unpredictable amount of domestic and exporting goods at different points of time. I am directly affected at the end because I am unable to access better education, healthcare, and other basic amenities. In order to help domestic economy as well as enrich Vietnamese peasant, I encourage myself to support local business by using local products. Vietnam, on the other hand, exploits the region of South China Sea to propel its economy. South China Sea is a crucial source of raw materials for Vietnam's manufacturing sector, as it assists not only the growth of international trade but also the development of new industries such as shipbuilding. Furthermore, Vietnam's coastline with the South China Sea offers mesmerizing views, thus promoting international and domestic tourism, hence contributing towards GDP and GNI. Vietnam's proximity to the South China Sea is the primary factor behind its promotion of the culture of fishing. with a vast area available for fishing and extraction of other resources. South China Sea offers immense potential to fulfill Vietnam's domestic and export requirements. This is an instance of implementation of the nearness principle where utility is maximized between two regions, thus strengthening connection with minimal capital and effort investment. Additionally, some preconditions of interdependence are also fulfilled, hence increasing spatial interactions. As a result of nearness, another factor responsible for interaction between two economies is witnessed. Transferability. Ships and trucks form the primary components for supplying diversified products to consumers at minimal prices, thus furthering domestic consumption and hence the economy. One of the major factors assisting transferability is Vietnam's long eastern coastline with the South China Sea. This allows for swift and even distribution of fresh produce across Vietnam. It is easy for me to buy fresh seafood in local market, and every year, my friends and my family spend wonderful vacations on the beach. We usually choose restaurants lying along coast to enjoy our meals. I never dispose trash to maintain an intact and healthy ecosystem, because my economy depends a lot on this sea region. However, South China Sea is exploited more than its ability to recover, which cause the loss of biodiversity. Scuba diving is my favorite activity because I can enjoy the beauty of colorful coral reef. However, this kind of was cancelled 5 years ago in many islands in South China Asia because of the loss of many coral reefs. Last year, I spent my vacation on Con Dao Island because of the colorful coral reef in here according to my memory of the vacation 3 years ago. I was disappointed because almost all of them was gone or not diversified. That area became less tourists than before during vacation. Moreover, boiled scallop with glasses is one of my favorite food, but it is not always good when having sand inside. Since 2 years ago, my mom has rarely cooked this dish because there are a lot of sands inside scallops. The shopkeeper said that it happened because of surged sea. As later I knew that because of the loss of the coral reefs, the sea is surged, hence having lots of sand inside scallops. Therefore, I have to eat farmed scallop, which is less nutrient. Now, if I talk about China's dependence on the South China Sea, it forms a crucial component of the Chinese economy as it provides raw materials and enables profitable trade routes to other countries. More than 85% of the Chinese economy is based on international trading through ocean, and 30% of it is through the South China Sea. In order to further exploit the region of South China Sea, China frequently attempts to restrict other countries from accessing the potential offered by the South China Sea. This is the foundation of China's current economic war with Vietnam. If China emerges victorious in this war, Vietnam's economy would hit a new low. This would have a devastating effect on me as the prices of food and essential commodities would skyrocket. Therefore, I shared posts admitting that South China Sea belongs to Vietnam. Also, I and my friends created a page on social media and recommend others like and share to raise the awareness of Vietnamese sovereignty over South China Sea for everyone over the world. In a nutshell, the association among economies of three regions are so important to my life, and as I presented before, I also have impacts on relationship among three regions. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.